Yeah, that's fine. He may have watched the recording. Okay, let me share my screen. Okay, let me know once you're able to see my screen.
Yes, Ashok, it's visible.
Okay, I'm going to upload a PPT today. So go through the PPT. If you have any questions on this, just let me know about the regions and availability zones, what we have discussed. So I have explained it clearly.
One
So
more thing, I got the doubt, Ashok, while perform this task. Like
yeah,
for each different zone, they will be costing according to their requirement, or like there is any like
I'm
Uniform
not.
charge for all the
I'm not.
regions.
Means what exactly you are asking?
like there are different set of regions, Ashok, for the
Yes.
storage. Like they would be costing different charges at different zones. Like I am in the Tokyo zone, they would be costing high. Like in the
Yeah.
North Virginia,
See,
they will be costing less.
it depends on how what are you using. It doesn't mean that you are in US and they will be charging more. No, it depends on what services you are using in that region. If you are using NAT gateway, it will be the same charge because see, the AWS is not that it uniformly charges everything for them. So whatever the service you are using, how much services are using in that region, so they will charge according to that, and it will be all over the world. It will be the same charge. Means from the NAT gateway, if it is to a $1.75 per hour in US, it will be the in North Virginia. It will be the same in Tokyo also. The only thing is that how many services you are using for that particular account or maybe for that particular region. So that way they will cost it. It's not like that US is more Indian, Mumbai is less. No, it is the same all over the world. See, if you why they will make it, because if you suppose consider EC2 instance only in North Virginia, you are charging $80 per hour, $80 per month, and in India you are charging only $20 per month. So obviously the North Virginia region people will obviously ask, right, why the difference? Because we are also paying the same thing, they are also paying the same thing, they are all using the same services, and we are giving the support to both the regions in the same equal way. Why they should go less? It's not like that. It's uniform all over the regions, but it depends on the services you use, how much you are using, how much you are taking usage of it, how many services are using. So that way they will cost. So it's the same all over the world. It depends on the usage and that on the services. Okay, before going to start, let me know this question. A VPC can exist dash regions in AWS. Can a
Multiple,
VPC,
Ashok.
Multiple.
seriously?
One Ashok. Like I thought we would be like by changing the different region, we can launch different VPC according to that. I thought, but
That's
then
the reason a VPC can exist across dash regions in AWS.
one
Can a VPC exist multiple regions in AWS?
no Ashok.
Okay. Okay, each availability zone can have one or more subnets, but one subnet cannot span across multiple availability zones. Is it true or false? I have mentioned this point very clearly when I was explaining about the subnet.
I have one or more subnets, but one subnet cannot span across.
I told you it's a very important point when I was explaining the subnets.
Yes, Ashok.
True, Ashok.
Yeah, that's right. True. Because you can have in availability zone, you can have multiple subnets, but one subnet cannot span across multiple availability zones. It is not possible. This is true. Which of the following types of subnet has internet gateway? Which exactly subnet we attach the IGW?
For public subnet, Ashok.
Full subnet, Ashok.
Yeah, that's a public subnet. That's right. Okay. That's fine. Today we are going to discuss about RDS, Relational Database Services. So Amazon gives us free service of RDS. Actually, there are three types of databases. One is sequential or structural database, which is also called a relational database. There are many examples for relational database: MariaDB, MySQL, Oracle, Postgres. These are all the relational database. Unstructured databases are also called NoSQL databases. These are the best example is DynamoDB, and there is one more database called in-memory databases. So that example is Elastic Cache. So why RDS means why exactly this we use. So the thing is that in AWS, it is very easy to set up, very easy to operate, and you can scale at any point in AWS, and it's a fully managed service. I'm saying AWS fully manages your database. If you have set it up perfectly and you have kept it in AWS, they will fully manage your service without anything. They will give you the backups, patching, automatic failovers, the scaling. Everything can be easily done with the AWS RDS, and it is very cost efficient compared to outside databases. And it can be, the size can be easily resizable, means if you are having the space issues, they will resize automatically seeing the space crunch. And they give a free, as I mentioned, they give a free to use managed service. Relational database RDS, they give a free to use managed service. They will store according to very cheap compared to all the databases across the world. Now let's go and create RDS and check it out. So now I am in, okay, first let me type so that you can see. Just go on, type RDS, click on that, and we are creating a database today. That is relational database. So we are on Amazon RDS dashboard, and see here I'm going to click on the DB instances, and here it is just asking me to create database. It's the first time loading, so it will take a little time. So now see, it's asking me, do you want to have a standard creation or easy recommendation creations? So standard means you will be able to including the availability, security, backups, and maintenance. This is a best practice, means you just want to easy create and just let it go. And after that you want to change, so you want to use. So now see, what all the engine options they are giving. Aurora, this has been used by Intuit and other systems. MySQL, this has been using by Amazon and everything. MariaDB, this has been using by the Lamborghini and other companies. So each database engine is being used by many companies. So here the Amazon gives for the RDS these many kind of database engines for you to get your own database. So which database you want to take, you can consider it. So right now we can go with MySQL. Why MySQL is, it is the most popular open source database. Most popular. See, if you click on this, they say here it provides you why you want to choose MySQL, what exactly it is. So it provides a database size up to 64 terabyte, 64 terabyte. In a single, when you create MySQL database, it is going to give 64 terabytes. That's a very huge database. You can keep it with you without having any issues. Now going downside, see here, these are the versions, means if you want to keep it for a multi availability zone, uh, if you click on the info, see this is a multi availability DB cluster has three instances. One is that each instance will be available in a different availability zone. Means if you want to create a single availability cluster, means the database in a single availability zone, or if you want to create database which can be available in all the multiple availability zones. So that way, if you see, you can just make it versions. So if you click on that, it will go, but we don't want right now because it's just for learning purpose. So I'm just mentioning the same thing only. We are keeping it as default. Now, see here, this is the engine version. The latest version, whoever it is having, it is giving us, see MySQL 8.0.28. This is the database engine. Now, the template for which reason we are actually creating this database. It is for production. Is it for dev environment or QA environment? Or is free test? Just you want to develop some existing applications and just want to gain some hands-on experience. So we are doing it for our free tier experience, means hands-on experience. So we will be going with the free tier. See, once you click on free tier, maximum options they have been disabled for you. See, if you click on production, see multi AZDB cluster in new multi AZDB instances. As I said, each this primary DB means once you create a DB, the option will be present as primary. This will be present in different availability zones. It provides a high availability for you. Whenever the user tries to get the data, it will be done very easily. Or maybe single DB. As I said, you don't want to have multiple availability zone insta DB. You just want in a single DB, means in a single instance, single availability zone. You can go for single DB instance. So this is for the production and everything. So we just are going with the free time. So this is the now, here's the settings. DB instance identifier. What should be the name? So you can provide anything. My first DB database. And like in Unix, what is the root like this? This is the admin. This is the master username for us. So what this should be the login ID. You can keep it as whatever you want. I'm just keeping as admin. Now it is asking me whether I want to generate auto generate password, or I want to use AWS Secrets Manager where your RDS generate a password for you every time when you go it, and it manages through your life cycle. But this is a more advanced, so we don't want. And if you want, you can just click on auto generate password, so automatically generates the password for you, whether you don't have to provide any password for this. If you don't want, you can enter your credentials and you can keep it up. But let's take it from the AWS itself. Now the DB instance. See, this is a burstable class. Means what are the DB instances class? It will be available. For the free tier, they will be only giving this class. And if you see DB T3.micro and there will be DB.2D micro. So these are the two things it is providing to us. See the VPCs, two vCPUs and WinGB RAM. So this is the way it is actually asking you what exactly you want to take the instance, means which kind of a DB instance you want to take. So it's up to us. Let's take anything. Anyways, we are going to delete it. Now see the storage. Right now they are giving us 20 GB. And in case you were having a space crunch and you started using the database, and you were not able to, the data is not able to hold, they can increase your DB in a single go to 1000 GB. This is called auto scaling, where if you have a space crunch and anything when you are using the database, at that time, if the data sees that okay, this space is getting less, it will automatically increase to 1000 GB. This is called storage auto scaling. If we enable it, it will automatically taken care by the AWS. If we don't, then we have to do it manually. But every time this is a good practice, we have to keep it as enable, because this way, it's, if it is a production environment and you are working on application on a peak thing, at that time, if the data is not, if the space is not available in the database, then how you are going to do that? You want to have this enabled so that the data gets automatically, the database space gets increased. And next is connectivity. So if you want to connect it to an EC2 compute resource, or you don't want to, so if you click on this, and it will be connected with an EC2 directly, and it will be logging directly with that EC2. So we will do it in a different way. We will not connect, we will create a new EC2 and we will connect to that EC2 along with it. So here it is taking a default VPC because we have only one VPC, virtual private cloud. So we have talked about this. And the DB subnet group, like as I said, like every instance is created in a subnet group. Now the database will also be created in a different subnet group. Now see the public access. Here it will assign whether you want this public IP address to the database, or you want to have only doesn't assign a public IP address. So that means again on EC2 instance, other resources outside of this VPC can connect to this database, can connect if you give public IP address. If you don't give, if you don't give, it will not connect anything outside this VPC. Anything, this database will never be connected to anything outside this VPC. So, but we want to connect it outside, so we will just give public access, yes. And if you want to create existing group or create a new VPC security group, so let's create a new VPC security group. keep it as DB security and preference zone. See, in which security group this preference should be provided, in which availability zone. Will give no preference, it automatically takes care of it. What exactly, where exactly we have to provide. So just keep it like that only. Default no availability zone means it will be taking care of it. And additional configuration, I will show you. The database port will always be available on 3306. By default, the database port will always be provided on 3306. This is important because the port, whenever you are configuring from your EC2 instance, you have to open your port 3306 to connect to the database. And database authentication. If you see, you whether you want to authenticate with password or password and IAM database. IAM means if you create an IAM user or maybe role, and if you provide this one, we have to give the IAM user also. Means only we have to create a role. With that, we have to add a policy where only the database access can be provided to that user, and along with that user means other account users who are using that IAM role and this password then can only authenticate this database. But for us, we will just use password authentication. Monitoring. See here the CloudWatch comes into the picture where you will be monitoring the database CPU, the process, the size, everything. This is enable enhanced monitoring. How exactly the monitoring works out, how exactly you can see what exactly it's working out. You can check it out. And yesterday
You
when
need
you
to
are,
enable it, Ashok. Click.
yeah, we have to mean say you want to have the monitoring enabled, they can check it out. Means as I said, if you want to, means this is a free tier, means we are just using for hands on. I'm just not doing it. But if you want to check, means if you want to monitor everything, then you have to enable it, because that way we will be able to see what exactly is happening in the database. That way we will be able to check it out, what exactly it's going on. That way it works out. If you want, you can, we can enable it. But the thing is that the granularity and everything will come into the picture. I just don't want you to take this much, because every time how much CPU it has been loading, every time how much it is going on. So better don't do it now. But when you start working the production or maybe in anything, keep this enabled. Keep this enabled. That's important. And one more thing, you have seen that when you are creating SQL, I have given you a screenshot where there were four databases when already we have logged into MySQL. Where is that document? Just a minute. Let me. What was the name? Yeah, WordPress access. This is the one. So here, if you see, show database, this was the database it was showing, right? In the first place, when the database is getting created, it was showing for this database normally. So if you want to have your database instance in the first time itself when it is creating, you can give it. I'm just giving student. So when the database we have create and we go and talk it out, it will be showing this database name automatically. I will show you that this is the database. Initially, if you don't, means it, if it is not having any database name, RDS does not create a database. But if you provide this, the initial means the four database names which is giving, it will be providing this thing. So DB parameter group, I will explaining this DB parameter group. And enable automated backups. If you keep this backup, means when the database has been the data is huge, so every 7 days, up to 7 days, the Amazon will take a snapshot of your database. It will keep it up for 7 days. On the eighth day, it will delete this snapshot. Means the database snapshot means it will keep whatever the data has been kept. It will keep up for 7 days. Take a snapshot and it will keep it for 7 days. After the seventh day, it is going to delete the snapshot on the eighth day. Again, it will do the same thing for the multiple. If you can keep it up, how many days you want, but as many days as possible, we have to keep it large so that we will take the data in a single go. If you want to have any issues in going, bugs gets created, database have some issues, then we can go back and check in that snapshot automatically. So backup window, see how exactly you want to have this RDS take automated backups. Whether you want to choose a window, means you want to do it in a, when there are no users working on your application, whether you want to have in a way there is no, see, there is no users at all, no, there is no one using the database. So that's the reason we will choose the time period, means at exactly which window we want to do it. But it's a normal thing, we just keep it as no preference. Now here, this is the account ID where they are actually giving the AWS KMS key. This don't take it out now, because this is again a more thing, just they have mentioned newly has been given. Here, the log exports. If you want to see the logs, means what exactly the data is coming, what exactly the errors are coming, what exactly we are going to see, we will be clicking on the log exports. If you select all these, the database will be providing you the logs, what exactly we are getting the logs, what exactly the data is flowing, what exactly the errors are coming. This can be checked with the log exports. And the maintenance. Here, if you want to maintain the database, if you want to see how exactly it's working it out, if you are there are any minor versions has to be released on the upgrade, or you have to patch the things, if you want to make it, so we have to click on the maintenance. And again, the maintenance window, this is also having the window whether you want to do it when there are no users, on the weekends where there no one will be using the application, or maybe in the night when everyone is sleeping. So that's a maintenance window. And deletion protection, if you can't, means if you accidentally don't want to delete the database at any point, you can click on this. If you click on this, if you are accidentally deleting the database, it will keep a backup for you, and it will, this option is enabled, and you, I'm pretty sure you will not be able to delete the database at all. See, they are mentioned clearly, this option is enabled, you can't delete the database. This is totally about the RDS. Let's create the database. See here, and wait a minute. Okay. For the first time creating the database, it will take a little time, because we are creating it for the first time. So it will take a little time. Let's wait.
Ashok,
Yes, Ashwin, tell me.
like while we give the options here, once we said and done, like whatever you are given in the database thing, can't
Yes.
we remodify that options?
Yeah, we can do that. That's the reason it will take some time. Means, but the thing is that you have to be pretty sure, because this is not easy to instance or anything, right? This is a database. Once you create it, you will be start using it, and it's a data gets, means suppose there is a 1000 GB data, and you want to change some configurations. That's not easily possible, because that makes a more problematic reason for your users and for your data. So better when you are doing it, you have to be very much sure. See here, it is just still creating, so it will take a little time in the first time it is getting created. It's still creating. Let's wait for this. So in the meanwhile, here you can refer to the documentation. Thus, golden rule: always go for the AWS documentation if you want to check anything. See all these documents on the AWS itself only. So you can go through it and you can check about the what exactly the RDS is, how exactly we can connect it from our local machine, how we exactly can do it through the things. You can check it out here. So let's see whether it has been done or not. It's still creating. Um, Mm, Still creating. Do you guys have any questions on this RDS?
Ashok, like what for are we creating this database, Ashok?
Sorry,
What is the reason that we are creating a new database now?
just to show you how can we create a database.
Okay, like
To
no,
to
my question was, do we have any purpose to store anything?
Yes, yes. Not see, not for any purpose. I'm explaining how to create a RDS. I'm just showing you because how can we create a database? So if suppose you join a company as a DevOps engineer and they say that okay, now we are actually want to increase our DB, or maybe we want to launch a new application. Now let's start first create the database and instances. So you say that no, I don't know how to create a database. So what will be their option? What you going to do at that time? You have to know everything. See, in AWS you have 200 plus services, but there are some important services which everyone should know, like the RDS, EC2 instance, Route 53, EKS, ECS. See, these are all the services which you should know in AWS services, the CloudWatch and CloudFront. These are all the things you should know, because if you say you are DevOps engineer, you have to be pretty much know what exactly the AWS services work out and how exactly you can do that. What are all the options it will be giving you? So you should know these things. If you say AWS DevOps engineer, you should know these basics at least. It doesn't mean that you have to why we are creating it, we have to have a hands-on practice, right? Because see, suddenly all things should not be theoretical. You have to be practically know everything, because see, you may not working on a project, but still you should know how to create a database, what exactly the things goes in the database, what exactly how exactly when you are configuring the database, how exactly the looks like. Because see, if you someone asks a question about the RDS and this is that how much time it may take to create a database, what are all the things you will be seeing, the parameters, you will be able to answer that question. That way you have to make sure. That's the reason every time do a hands-on practice every time whatever you have, because that's the reason I'm saying use this Amazon account. How much? Because they are giving you freely. Do that. Do the time period, use it how much time you can use it, and check it out. See the status for taking creating database, how much time it is taking. It is first creating and it is backing up, and after that it will be in the process available zone. The status goes like this, whether it is create, after that backing up, and after that it will be available. It will not like just create and it's available. No, it will take time and it will create it. So that's the reason I'm saying this is the first time we are creating. And I would prefer to you to say go for DB to T2 micro, not T3 micro to T2 micro. I have done it by mistake. But see when the DB is creating, it is creating its own security group. We are creating its own security group, and you can see there are subnets for each availability zone. Each availability zone they have given each separate subnet for every availability zone to have to connect to this database instance. See, these are all the subnets. If you click on it, each subnet will be available in a different availability zone. See, US East 1, and see the availability zone is US East 1B. If you go to this subnet, again, if you go to the other things, okay, I've gone very long. Let me come back. See, it's still backing up. Come on. Each availability zone will be in a different thing, means each subnet will be provided in a different availability zone, means everything will be in a separate instance, separate availability scene. See, this is availability zone is US East 1F. So everything this database, when it is created, it is available in six subnet groups, and it is been available in a different multiple availability zones. That way they are making it. So you should have this knowledge when you are creating it. It's not like that, okay, and this with this endpoint you will be able to connect to a database. This is the way you can connect from your EC2 machine to this database engine. That is the way you can do it. The inbound and outbound traffic. See, if you go to this inbound security group, see, we are obviously for the EC2 instance, what was the type where we used to give SSH machine, but here what it has taken MySQL and it automatically has taken my system IP. It is automatically taken because it is understanding that this can only be accessible only through my IP. But if I connect it from the EC2 instance, whether I will be able to add it? No, I will not be able to connect it to my EC2 instance because the inbound rule is not available here.
Okay.
So you have to understand these things. Why we are doing it? Because we want to have hands-on practice. We have to understand how exactly this works out, how exactly it takes time. See, now it is available. Now it is available. After this much time, it is available. Now, see, if you see here, you have to know what is this connected security. This is a point. This with this endpoint only will be able to connect to the database. And on what port? 3306. The availability zone. This is the VPC. It is available. This is a VPC security group, and it is subnet group. The subnets in this subnet groups only this database is available. Exactly, monitoring. Now see, when I clicked on the monitoring, see, it will be the thing. This is the main important thing, how we are actually monitoring the cloud was. It will provide what is the CPU utilization, the DB connections, how much storage space we have, what is the freeable memory. This is the way how we are actually monitoring how the database is actually working out, what exactly is happening. The logs and events, if you have clicked on that logs and events, you would have been able to see what exactly the alarm. If you create an alarm, it will show exactly whether how many at time. Means if you provide the average CPU utilization should not go more than this value of more than 10%, it will throw you an alarm. It will mention you that the CPU percentage utilization is more than 10%, more than 30%. This is a threshold value. That way we will create the alarms. This is a create alarm. This is a cloud watch alarm. We will go through this after some time in some other sessions, but we have to understand this is a cloud watch, how exactly it goes on, what are the logs and events it will be provided. Now see, at what time it has been first DB instance restarted, it is created, and they have backed it up, and they have finished the DB instance backup, and now it is available. See, these are the logs they are showing. MySQL error log. What is the log it has been showing? What is it? It is 0 bytes. Running log. What is showing? These is the things the logs will be provided to you. The configuration. This is the main thing we have. See the name, the engine version, the DB name student for the first time instance we are taking, the CPU, AWS RS key, the availability means the how to connect it. Here the optional groups, the default MySQL 8 is optional group. There is another one called parameter group. This is a very important group when we are connected to the database. This has a lot of information. If you are this is a default parameter group, and we want to make changes to this parameter group to the database, whatever we are working on it, whatever we want to get it on, we will be changing this database parameter group to our customized one. That I will be talking on this subnet and parameter groups, where this will be according to that we can change, according to that we can enable, and according to that whatever we want to do we can do it. And see, enable storing capacity, maximum threshold value, these are all the things you have to mention. The maintenance and backups. See, auto minor version up, it has been enabled, means every time if there is any version needs to update, it will take care of it. And the backups will be kept up to 7 days. And the eighth day, they are going to delete that backup. They are not going to keep it up. And these are all the tags. That's it. So this is a DB. This is a DB we have created right now. This is the DB, it has been present. Now, if you go to the subnet groups, this is the subnet. This is a default subnet group which has been present. Default subnet which has been created. See, these are all the availability zones. It is present. It is present in all the availability zones of this particular region. All the availability zone. See, and it has taken a ZIDR block by itself. We have not given anything. It has taken clearly by itself. If you want to have only, you have want to have only the subnet group, means you are only want to have this database in only one particular availability zone. Created DB subnet group and add to it. Give some name. My DB. subnet group and description mydb something. And see here, if you want to have, the option has not been disabled for us. Sorry, actually here we will getting the availability zone, which subnet you want to create, which exactly you want to have only for this particular availability zone or only to this particular subnets. This we will be having our option to create that subnet, and we will be adding this subnet group to the DB so that it is available in that only particular availability zone. That way it works out. And the parameter groups. Why I'm saying this parameter groups? If you go through these parameter groups, see perfectly. These are all the things where if you want to access, if you want to change anything, if you want to edit, means suppose you want to do auto commits, see the dynamic values, the modifiable. See if it is false, you will, if it is modifiable false, you will not be able to edit it at any time because these are static values. But if you are doing it like where is it backlog? See this backlog, this is a static value. If you want to change it, you can do it. Or maybe the bin table, these are the parameters which have action. You want to get something from the bin logs, these are all the parameters which you can, with this, if you create a custom parameter group and attach it to a database, what exactly you want to have, because it's a default one. Now suppose let me create a parameter group. See what is the parameter engine we are using, MySQL. So parameter group family. See,
MySQL
yeah, it is taking 8.0 only
8.0.
because we are using MySQL 8.0 only. See, 8.0, the engine, they have the versions, but end of the day, it's exactly MySQL 8.0. And DB parameter, the group name, what should be the group name? I'll be giving
My test.
custom DB parameter. Okay, the same name. Sorry. Now, if I'm creating this parameter group and I can attach this parameter group to the default to the database, and that way it will be acting, and whatever I will be making the changes, it will be taking care of it. Let me go to the dashboard. See the DB engine version. What was the version? 8.0.28. What you want to modify? We want to change the parameter group. Where is it? See here the DB parameter group. It was ever. Now we are giving the custom one. Now I have taken the custom parameter group. I'm modifying it. H1, I'm modifying it. See if you want to change, you can modify it. See the values are getting modified. But many experts or many person who is using the DB will never say that to modify it in the middle of the configurations. Never. And if you click on continue, and it will save it. See, now it is asking us whether we want to change the applications in the next scheduled window or maybe immediately. Means if you are on the peak of your application, at that time you want to do it. No, you will take it a specified time period, maintenance window, where at that time the scheduling window is going on automatically, it will take care of it. No, we are doing it right now. So because it's just for our, it's a free tier one, it's just for a hands-on practice. So I'm just modifying it. Now, if you go to this parameter group and if you change the values, now see if I'm going to edit some parameters. See for the first time, whatever, if it is a dynamic or static, if your dynamic value is getting changed for the first time, it will take time to, it will go to a pre-reboot and then it will take care of it. Let me do some dynamic value. Where is it? Just a moment, guys. I just want to make sure that I'm what exactly I'm doing it. I just don't want to do anything other than these things. Bin log format. This is a mixed. Okay. Let me change to row. See, now I'm changing the bin log format to row. Now it's a dynamic value. Now I am gonna save the changes. See, the parameter cannot know because it's currently being applied to DB instance for first DB code. It is throwing me an error. So, but it should not throw this error. Okay, let us change something else. This it should be changed, right? Why it is not accepting it? See, now it has been modified. Sorry, I didn't check it out. So now see, here I have changed it to row. Now go back to the database. Now if you see, the custom parameter group, it is applying. After that, it will go to a applying. After applying, it goes to the reboot. We have to reboot our database. Then it will work out for the dynamic for the first time. And second time, if you change the dynamic value again, it will not ask you to reboot. Let's wait for some time. It will do that.
Ashok, like in parameter group settings, you change it to row. Ashok, what is that, Ashok? The change you made?
See, the database, it's a very huge, vast thing. You don't have to know everything in that. It's a bin log format where exactly how exactly the rows should be provided in the database. So that I just changed one thing. See, you can be a DevOps engineer or you can become a database engineer. See, database itself is a very vast and a huge concept. Like DevOps, if you are using multiple tools, if you are see, there will be a separate team for every company just to have database. Just database people will be provided just to maintain the database correctly, because there will be some LX table, MX tables, how exactly the data is getting formatted, how exactly we are taking the data from there. That is a very huge vast concept. I better you don't have to worry how exactly the database inside looks it, why exactly we changing it. We are just mentioning it, how exactly the values needs to be taken care of it, how exactly we can take it out. This is the reason you just create the AWS database perfectly and leave it. The AWS will manage it fully. You don't have to worry about this thing. They will take care of your AWS. They will take care easily. Oh, it's still applying. Come on.
So, for example, sorry,
Yes.
like X company gives us the we want only the Amazon RDS thing. We will be setting up these things and we'll live on. Rest Amazon will take care of it, Ashok.
Yes, it's up to them. See, if you create the database in AWS, it is fully manageable and it is fully managed by the AWS itself. If you provide the CloudWatch, you can just provide a CloudWatch, and these are the monitoring systems, right? Here you are checking it out how the CPU utilization is going on, how thing you are just checking it out. You just provide. You want to see keep an alarm, means you are just, it is on AWS, it's working going on. And if you are want to see how exactly CPU utilization is going on, you just need some alarms until unless the CPU utilization is more than 90%. And until 90%, the CPU is very good, and the threshold value, what if the storing capacity is more than it is going through a crunch space. At that time you can just keep alarms automatically. If you see the alarm, then you can just come back here and you can just see what is the CPU utilization is going, why the CPU utilization is going more than 10%, more than 90%, and the space crunch is there. Automatically you have enabled the auto scaling, right? Where is
Yes,
it,
yes, yes.
auto scaling? So here automatically it will take care of that one. You don't have to worry about this because here it is already there. If it is a maximum storage, means you have enabled auto scaling, how much it goes, 1000 GB, you can change it to 6000 automatically. If it is a space goes to 20 GB, it will increase your space to 6000 GB. And at that time you can just keep alarm here that if the space value goes to 6000, let me know. It will automatically give you a notification. Then you can come back and ask Amazon to provide more space. But this is more than 6000 GB is a very huge space. 6000 GB. So that way you can work it out. Now see, I just want to show you when we are doing it. Still in applying, come on. Once we are changing our parameters group for the first time in the dynamic values, it is will be asking you to apply. It will be asking us to do apply, and after applying it will ask us to reboot the system. And after that, the new parameter which we have modified, means what are the new things we have kept, it will be taken care in that. Meanwhile, let me create a EC2 instance. I'll be taking event 2. Oh, come on. This takes a lot of time. I just want to show you because this is a hands-on practice for you. You need to understand how exactly it works out. Is it okay if you go more than 2 hours the class today?
Yeah, sure. Punit,
Yes, Ishwan.
is it okay for you?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, I want to talk about the elastic instances also. S3.
Sure, sure. Go on.
Just want to
Like in
see.
backend, how many systems would be running, Ashok, for this thing to run?
This is only one DB instance. This is only one DB instance.
This is not in the Amazon server. I'm asking there.
Yeah, here we are creating an instance just to connect to the database. We are connecting. You can create multiple instances and you can create multiple instances. You can connect to the database. It's up to you. Here I'm just creating it just one. Okay. Come on. Still applying. Oh, I should have taken db.micro.
In T3.micro, it will get it done very soon, Ashok.
Yes, because it's very small one, right? T2.micro. So it will be done very easily. I just want to show you something, that's it, because it helps you going forward, just how exactly it can be done. See, for Ubuntu, you can install MySQL. For Amazon Linux, you can go for MariaDB. It's up to you. Come on, come on.
Ashok, now we are creating the instance to connect it to the DB that we have created, right, Ashok?
We have just created an instance. We have not yet connected it to the DB. See now
Yes.
here. Once it is applying, it goes to the pending reboot. If you reboot only, then the parameters which we change in the custom DB bar, it will be accessible. So for that, we have to reboot. Just reboot it. Confirm. Now it will reboot again. It will come to available. So it will take some time. Oh yeah, yes, Ashwin. Puneet, tell me.
Yeah, now we are not yet connected, but we have created the instance and DB has also been created.
And
Oh,
we have
we have.
installed MySQL server in the
Yes.
Ubuntu.
Yes, we have installed MySQL server so that we can connect it to our MySQL DB.
Yes.
Ashok, I have a doubt here, Ashok. In
Yes.
this Ubuntu terminal, we will be installing the MySQL thing, or like we'll be installing server.
MySQL server, because MySQL is the server. It's if you want to have MySQL DB to have it, how we were going to connect with an EC2 instance, you need to have that service, right? So we will be installing MySQL server where it will taking care to connect to the MySQL DB. You can't have like, see, if you have Oracle DB, you want to have that Oracle service in your system, right?
Oh,
Then like
yes.
the same way, we are using MySQL. For MySQL, it will not just come the MySQL service. We have to go for the MySQL server. So it will take care of that MySQL server and it will install the server services, whichever we want to connect to the MySQL DB. Come on, come on, come on. Okay. Still rebooting. Here to connect the command, it will be MySQL -h, the endpoint name, -p. The password will be here, it will be given.
Can we add any database to the server, Ashok, in this? Is it possible to add?
Any server means?
Already created.
Not that, Ashok. Like, for
Yeah.
example, X and YZ products, like list of, as you said, list of students. Some are
Yes.
not included. We need to include to the database again. Can we able to do this manually through using AWS?
No, Ashwant, I'm not getting your question. Please explain it.
Here we
You
have
are
created.
Yeah.
database thing to run. Okay.
Yes, we have created a database.
Yes. My question is, can we add the database and few more lines to the database through using AWS account?
Few more lines in database to use
Uh,
AWS
so,
account.
like for example, database is nothing but for student account. We will be creating
No,
like
no,
row control.
student account is not. Student is an instance, the DB instance. The
I meant
we have created here, it is in one of the instance of the DB, means whatever we have done, it has been there. I will show you. Okay, tell me.
not in that sense, Ashok. Database is nothing but storage of data of users like customers, whatever we get, right?
Yes,
Here I need to add 10 more data thing to the
10,
database
10 more lines means 10
lines.
data you want to add.
Oh yes,
You want to add
like
data directly from the Amazon account and you can just work it out. You want to asking like that. You are saying like that, right?
exactly.
See, here it is there from restore from history, right?
Ah,
If you click on this, whatever the history objects you have been there present,
hmm.
whatever the, it will automatically go to the database. So that way, you whatever you want to go
Hmm.
with the data, you can go with this. With the data, you can go with this.
There is
If you
no
are
need of writing queries, Ashok, for this.
queries means in which sense you want means see if you are using means if you are creating a database directly from the AWS account, there is no need of queries. And if you want to access this database through AWS CLI or maybe to the instance, then we need some queries. Means if you want to connect, how you want to do it, then at that time for maximum database we don't use queries. We will just create it, and we want to connecting it, we will connect it, and whatever you want to do, it will be done. Maximum queries will not be used for this database thing, RDS.
Done.
Okay,
Yes.
so now it is available. See, now it is available. The configurations, whatever we have changed, it is available. Now it is in sync. See, pending report. So these are the things. It is first one was it was applying, and after that, once the dynamic changes has been, it is going to pending reboot, and after that, it is gone into in sync. You know, it is in sync. If you change now the dynamic value again at some point, and if you go through that, it will change. Let me first connect and do that. I just don't want to work it out. So before that, it's actually used to show up the connection directly. Now it is giving C. Oh, it's in US East one if cross voltage on charges might apply, but that's fine. I just want to see one thing. Just a minute.
You said some password, Ashok.
Yeah, that's the reason I'm just checking. Actually, it comes here itself because to directly connect to the EC2, it is used to come US East one if I should have selected the database. Just give a minute. Let me stop this instance. Just a minute, guys. This is the security group. Oh, for the instances, it is not possible to have it in simple availability zone. That's fine. Yes, yes. Sorry. Okay, let's to create this. That's fine. We have to make the cross change applies to just to show you. Come on. So it's actually automatically giving me the EC2 instance, means where exactly I want to connect it. I click on continue, it's actually seeing there's will be the port which is actually connecting directly to this one. To have the data transfer, it is actually asking what is the demand plans. That's fine, let's do it. Okay, what is the other one? I have to install MySQL. I'm just installing whatever the MySQL things are there and everything. See here, actually, it's actually directly asking me, means before, means I think they have recently updated this. Before, what used to come is this, we actually, when we used to connect to the database, used to give the password and everything. So here from there, actually, I used to take the MySQL minus H and the endpoint connection. And then after this, I used to give the minus P and the password details. But here it is automatically directly giving the connection to me, means from the security group directly to this EC2 RDS. So automatically it creates the in the this DB security group. Automatically it is taking the security group of my EC2. So by making me to connect directly to the DB database directly without having anything. Before that, what we used to do is that we used to go to the console from here, and we used to type MySQL minus H and the endpoint like this will be the command. Let me show you. MySQL minus H, the endpoint name, and then why we used to give -p, and the -p used to provide us the enter password, where we used to take the password from there and we used to just right click and enter, so that it takes a password and it goes to the inside of the DB MySQL. That is the way we used to do it. The master password and everything.
Look, while entering this MySQL install,
Yes.
you gave MySQL star, Ashok. What does that star represent,
Star
Ashok?
means whatever the MySQL services and everything, whatever it may be having MySQL, everything will be coming in this server, in this instance. Everything, whatever may be the things. Let's see. Yeah, it's done. Let me see one more time just to check whether this is there or not, because the connection details would have to be given. See, now it has taken the RDA security group automatically. I have not provided anything. The security group also automatically has been changed. Means it has taken there. Now here actually we have to change something in this security group. Inbound rules, edit inbound rules, add rule, MySQL Aurora. Where is it? This is the one. Custom. Oh, it has taken already this one only. That's good. Now let's try MySQL minus. If you give -u and admin, so automatically it should take the endpoint one. Oh, it doesn't have the password. Where is the password actually it comes? Take snapshot, restore Bangalore. That takes proxy. Just a minute. Well, let me connect my SQL. H. It is asking the password. Where is the password? Come on, man. It used to show me here only. Where it has gone? This one, guys. Where it on? Stop and please let me speak and create replica blueprint deployment from a restore to point in time migrate snapshot. RDS proxy. This is the place where exactly it should be coming here, because in the actions only we used to get it. Just wait a minute. Actually, I think. Oh yes. Shit. What have done? Oh, I should have not cancelled it. Sorry, guys. That's my mistake. Here, actually, when we create, if we are on this same page, there is a pop-up window will be coming here on the top of this one, exactly here on the RDS databases, where if we click on this, it will be showing the password. That I missed it. That I removed it when I was doing it. That's my bad. So we will not be able to connect it until we don't have the password. Let me try to change, modify. Let's see whether I can change this password as a manual thing. Just give admin. Come on. Okay, sense. Oh no! Oh no! It should be apply immediately. Guys, what am today? You guys able to understand what exactly I'm doing it, right? Are you guys there?
Yeah, yes, Ashok. Actually, I missed the flow, Ashok, but I'll watch the video again. Continue,
Yeah,
Ashok.
yeah. The thing is that here when we create the database, right, and the top of there will be like this. The pop-up is there, like there will be the here we will be it will be giving the auto-generate password. So if we click on that one, it will be showing the password button, means the password details. That I missed that one. That I did it by mistake. So that was the reason everything gone into some other thing. So it's actually resetting the master credentials. That's fine. We will be connecting this one. Okay. This will be the DB things, whatever we have done. So, and there is one more thing in the parameter groups. I just want to show you something. See, the dynamic values which we have changed, right? So if we change again the dynamic thing, anything, any value of dynamic, it will not go for the reboot. But if you change the static values, if you change the static values of the static and dynamic, if we change, then it will again go for the reboot. So this is the simple difference between the dynamic and static things, what exactly the values needs to be kept. And there is one more thing in the DB. See, in DB, there are two things which can be done in the DB. One is to read and one is to write. Suppose if you just want to read the data, to not to go more traffic on the database, on the primary database, we will be creating a replicas. We will be creating replicas. What is a replica? Replica is a thing where you want to just read the data, just want to read the data from the database. You will be creating a replica and you will be pointing out that server to the replica, the read database, the read things from the database can be pointed out to the replica. I think it has been done. Let me try. This has been added, right? Just a minute. Okay, not here. Where is the security groups of the RDS? Now, if I try to connect it, come on. Okay, let me show you the how to create a replica. If we create on the actions and go to create read replica, see this is the replicas one where it will be creating a replica of your database, where the read things which needs to be gone through the database, it will be done through this create replica. So it will be my first DB replica source and DB instance, what you can keep it as my first DB replica. So this way it will be burstable cache, and if you can change, you can change it to very small or maybe let's give me 2 3 micro, that's fine. And AWS region, the storage, the same things, just whatever we have been creating, the same thing. If it is a public accessible, just make it as public accessible. Existing VPCs, password authentication, and tags to snapshots enable. Just a minute, guys. हेलो, हाँ बोलो भैया. हाँ, मदरबोर्ड इश्यू नहीं है उसका, उसका प्रॉब्लम Sorry guys, see, we have created a replica. We have created a replica where we can go through this for only for the read purpose. If you want to read the data, it will be taken care. And if you want to delete the database, if you want to delete the database which you have created, the first thing is that you have to first delete the replica, and after that you have to delete the database. This is actually whole about RDS. This is the replicas where we will be creating. See, if you see, this is the primary database, this is a replica where the read kind of data will be gone through this. Any questions you have? So this is actually a simple diagram. I just want to explain to you. See, this is the internet, and we are going to the internet gateway, and from there we are actually pointing out to the EC2 instance, and from there it is going to the RDS. If you want to go it from here first, we have to connect from the internet gateway to the EC2 instance. This will be connecting our database. It is not easily accessible for the outside users. Any questions, guys? Go through the video once more. You will be able to understand. Any questions?
Ashok, like after in the terminal, what we did, we missed out the password. After like doing that, whatever we create a file, it will be stored in the database. Is it, Ashok?
No, no, no. If you connect to the database, so what exactly is that it does that is it will show the database, means it will be showing the MySQL. It will come as MySQL star. Whatever we enter there, it will be stored in the database. This will not store anything in the database until unless we enter into the database stage. Here we are actually trying it, but it's not accepting mine. So that's the reason I'm actually trying. Let me see if I can use MySQL -v. It was admin only, right? Or it was a master admin. Access denied for admin.
Is it sudo, Ashok? Sudo MySQL?
No, no, because we are already in the root user, right?
Okay.
It should actually take it, but as I said, I messed up. So that's the reason it is not taking. You can try it out. Means once you get a chance. So this is the way we create it. Maybe you can try if you have any questions in the meanwhile. You can ping me. We can share we can share the screen. We can do it. But this is the way. But once you are done, just delete it. Once you are done, just delete it. You don't keep it even for 10 minutes also. That's my only thing, because this takes a lot of money from me. Because the future says per month they are gonna cost you $3,000, which is very less compared to other databases which we are using outside.
$3,000, Ashok, per month?
Yes, per month. See,
What
database
is
is
the
a
range
very,
they provide the database?
as I said, they have given you, right? They have given you this much things, these many values they are being giving. So they obviously gonna charge you, right? Because this is not an easy thing. The data is the thing which everything is present inside you, everything of your applications data. So if anything happens, anything, so they will be charging you, right?
Okay. Like what
Actually,
is other company does, like for example Azure, GCP, Alibaba? What is their range?
there's also is a little more costly compared to this one. There's actually very less. As I said, this is a very less compared to all the things. As a pricing and cost estimation, as I say, it depends on your engine type and configuration of your RDS instances, and means what is the type of database we are using. And we can have a AWS price calculator. If it is a single region, if it is a multiple AZ, if it's a DBT to small, DB2 to MD large, and suppose if you are using an exam MySQL and the instance is DB M5 large, and the configuration is multiple availability zones, and you want to have on-demand instances. Means whenever you want, means I will explain the on-demand and on-spot instances later on the sessions. But on-demand is that within seconds you have more data and you want to connect it to, you want to have a different web server and you want to connect to the database so that the traffic will go through that. So that for that, if you, that is called on demand, means within, if you request it, they will be doing it for you. So that is on demand. So for that, and the storage is that 20 GB per volume, 20 GB per volume. So the monthly estimation would be, as I said, it will be $2,099, I think, on demand, because they will be charging you mainly on the on demand instances, not mainly on the database, mainly on the on demand instances, because that's actually very costly. Because the time you are asking, they are giving you the on demand instance. Like if I'm saying there is an instance which I needed very immediately, they will just give it to you and they will charge you. But for the backup storage cost and for the monthly reserved instances, they will be charging you $0. But for the on-demand instances, when the database is considering, they will be charging you $3,000. That is the reason it takes a lot of time. Let me delete it. See, it is asking me delete Devi, so I'm just have to mention delete me. I'm gonna delete the RAID replica data. I'm deleting it. After once it has been deleted, I'm just go to the my first TP and just gonna do actions. Again, I will delete it. So that way you have to delete the database. This is mainly on RDS. We will be talking about the S3. So if you are okay, I'm going to go further because I want to complete the S3 also. If you have any questions, just let me know, because I'm going to go for the S3.
Like Ashok, one thing, one doubt, Ashok, like where in real time projects we are using this database, Ashok?
As I said, the MySQL database is used by Amazon. Amazon itself. Intuit is using MariaDB. So the whatever the engines you are having, right? Whatever the engines you are having, if you go just the means. Let me tell you what all the database they are using.
Like we as a DevOps engineer will not create this database to store anything, is it, Ashok? It is just like we are learning how it will be created.
No. We will be using it, right? We will be using it.
No, we
We
will
will,
be using it, Ashok, but we will not create any database or is it like that? We need to create a database and store things
see,
there.
if you are in a startup company, you have to do everything.
Okay.
If you are in a startup company, DevOps engineer doesn't mean that you will be working only on the tools. No, there may be a chance they will be asking you to totally work on the AWS services, whatever services they have. At that time, you have to work it out. You have to make all the things at that time, and you have to work it out. Even the databases also. So, like I said, the Aurora, the database which we have seen, if you go to the create database, let me show you so that I will be able to explain it easily here. See, Amazon Aurora, this is actually Amazon Aurora. This is actually used by Autodesk, JUnit, Intuit, Dow Jones. The MySQL, it has been used by Airbnb, Lamborghini, Flipboard, and what is the other one? Postgres. This has been used. The Amazon has been using the Postgres, Instacart, Blackboard, and Oracle. Oracle has been used many things. Kaplan, Cornell University, US Doc, US Department, Veterinary Affairs. The SQL Server. This has been used by the Unilever, ATG Media. The MariaDB uses very less people, but these are all the databases the companies uses. These many databases. So you have all these databases. So it's not like that. Okay, delete it again. It is taking time to delete. Okay, that's fine. Now let's go to S3. What is S3? I explained a little.
S3 is a storage bucket, Ashok.
Okay, what is the full form of S3? What is the full form of S3?
Storage, service storage kind of a thing, Ashok. Service storage.
Service storage. Okay. Before going, what kind of services are RDS?
Fully managed.
Is,
Fully managed, Ashok.
fully managed, Ashok.
That's right. So which of the following database engines are AWS free tier?
MySQL.
Okay.
Same
And
thing, Ashok. Same.
see, all these databases are free tier. All these databases you can create it freely. All these databases.
But
If
we
you
can't
go,
have that much options now, Ashok.
it's up to you. You can create multiple in a single account. You can create 6 databases. It's up to you. All these databases are free. All these databases are AWS free tier. You can create all these databases freely. These database engines are AWS free tier. You will be not paying up for the database. You will be paying for the instances, for the ones which you are connecting to the database. For that, you will be paying the money. RDS is very cheap compared to all over the world. These are very cheap databases which the database engines provides AWS to you. Very cheap. I'm saying it again, very cheap. If you go through these articles, you will be able to understand how much the cheap they are.
Why is it like that, Ashok? Why are they providing for less amount?
Because if your data is in there, see, it's a simple business strategy. If your data is in your Amazon AWS account, obviously you will not be going for Azure services, Azure servers, and connecting it to here, right? So they obviously say that if the data is present in AWS, they will obviously start using the AWS instances. So that way they will be charging you on the instances, not on the database. Simple
Okay.
strategy. They are giving database free for you, and they are charging on instances which you are actually connecting your instances to the database. So they are charging you on the instances, not on the database. Simple. A simple strategy, business strategy.
Ashok, one question, Ashok. It is like an out of the box question. Like how, like you have an experience, so much of experience in IT world. Like, what do you suggest both of us, Ashok? Like to work in a startup in the beginning stage, or like, because we'll have more things to learn when it comes to startup.
Yeah, see, if you go to startup, you will be they will make you a pro. The work pressure will be a lot, and there will be a things you have to manage everything. So that will be vast. That will be a very good opportunity for learning purpose. No, you want to have a very cool and normal life, you can go for MNC. But if you have been in startup for 1 or 2 years, your life will go to a very good stage because you will be learning a lot of things. Lot of things you will be doing. You will be having a more hands-on experience. The person who is in MNC for 10 years in DevOps, you will be having more knowledge than him in a startup if you worked in startup for more than 2 years. That many tools you will be using, that many things you will be working it out, so it will be having more, and it will be a very good thing going forward for your career. But as I say that, but you have to be very proactive and you have to know all the things. It's not like that you have this thing and you can go it. No, for the startup, as I said, you need to have more knowledge because you will be working on the development side. You will be providing the pushes to the production side. You will be working on infrastructure. So you will be single-handedly, you will be working in all the things. Where in MNC, for the CI/CD pipeline, there will be a separate person. For the Docker, there will be a separate team. For Kubernetes, there will be a separate team. For Jenkins, for Git, there will be a separate team. For Terraform, there will be a separate team. So if you go in MNC, they will be tagging you in any of the tools. So you will become a pro in that tool. In if you are working in that company. But if you are in a startup, you will be using all these tools. All these tools, the work will be done by you only, by you only. So that is the reason
Ashok,
the startup guys will have more knowledge.
Like at this point, what do you suggest, Ashok, for me and Ishwant? Is it possible for both of us to go to a startup and survive there, Ashok?
See that that I can't say. If you are very good, means I would be able to answer that question after 2 months, not right now. Not right now, because I need to see how much you are able to went through the trainings, how much you are able to do the projects on yourself, how much you are able to write the script. As I'm saying, the basics is the main thing. Along with Linux, I will ask you to go to the Python also. Start learning Python also according to it, because many companies use Linux or Python. So they know, if you know the Linux, they will automatically consider that you know Python also, because it's the same category way of doing the things. So I would also ask you to go through the Python also. Means in the meanwhile, parallelly, start learning Python also. This will give you a lot of scope going forward for you. Lot of scope, because other than Linux, if you know how to write a scripting, because maybe in the interviews they may ask you to write a script in the second round, or maybe in the third round, or maybe in the first round itself. If you are able to write the script, that's it, you are good to go. Because maximum things for a straightforward, other than this script writing, other than tools, whatever they are going to ask for you under 3 plus, they're going to ask you a straight questions, very straightforward questions. What is a Docker file? How we are going to manage the pods in the Kubernetes? However, you are going to migrate the services from the Terraform? This will be a very straightforward questions. The main thing you may get stuck is on the Linux or maybe on the Python scripting, because they may ask you to write a script in the interview. They may ask you, you should be ready to write a script at the beginning. If they say and you are ready to go, if you are that much good, you are very pro, and you are ready to go anywhere. I'm saying it. And see, before deleting DB instances, they here they will be asking create final shop short return automatic. So unclick them and just acknowledge it that I want to delete, because if you keep it, these automated backups will be present on your system. So you don't want it, just delete it.
Once we delete this from our systems, like our AWS account, the entire DBS thing what we created in their server, it will be created terminated, Ashok.
Yes, obviously, because here the DB is also not there. How I'm going to connect it to this one?
But
It is
then
not
in the
possible, right?
systems, there won't be any such proof of saving the data.
Yeah, but here, if you are using an organizational account, obviously they will be taking the log, because from the AWS they can give the history whoever has been logged into these accounts. That is also possible. It's not like that you can bluff everything. You can delete directly DB. So that's right. If suppose as I know, a account will be separately kept for the AWS DB, only for AWS DB. A separate account will be there, so that no one just goes and log in into that account, because there is a chance they may delete it. And I said, if you the deletion protection is on, you will never be able to delete this one. Again, you have to modify and everything. So they will take care of that one. Okay. So let's go through the S3 bucket. You have any more questions? Come on, guys.
No, sure. Carry on, Ashok.
Because I have to complete S3 load balancers, auto scaling, and right sizing infrastructure. So S3, as I mentioned in the last when I was explaining the assignment, to avoid using hardware with high storage capacity or maybe struggling to maintain them, Amazon offers you a rent storage space. Rent storage space means whatever you have been storing, whatever may be the data you are going, they will store it as an object storage service. You can store it in the S3 bucket, that is called simple storage service. S3 simple storage service. They will convert your whatever may be the files or maybe the images, whatever you are going to store, they're gonna store it as an object and it will be stored there. So the main frequently used components in S3 bucket are buckets, objects, keys. Bucket is the one where it will be containing all the objects. Means if you are creating bucket, here you will be creating all the buckets. So let me create it. If you are already having existing bucket, they will you can take it out. So object ownership, and here you don't want to provide you all the access, you want to keep it only for you, block all public access. Bucket versioning, I will be mentioning that thing. And tags, okay, that's it. Just oh, see here the name is already taken. This is global. These bucket names are global, means all whoever has been there, whoever has been using all these bucket, the bucket name should be unique. Okay. So many days. So now I have taken this name bucket Ashok. If you try to create bucket Ashok, it will not allow you. That is, this is a bucket. This is the bucket where we create our objects, where we store our objects, where we have whatever we want to store. You can upload directly your files also here. If you want to see, I can directly upload my files. I can directly keep the files, whatever I want to keep it here. Directly I can keep it here. And if I'm taking a log file, so if you see, I am uploading this file. This is the bucket, means the file has been uploaded. This has been the file, it has been there. Now if I go to S3 bucket and see logs.txt, and if I want to see this bucket, if I want to tag it out this bucket, if I copy this one, uh, here if you want to access this file, if you want to go want to check it out, if it is a HTML file, means you have guys anyone having HTML files? Let me see. I should be having the HTML file, because that way that is possible to explain it more. Let me see. Just give me a minute. That's fine. Let's go and download a index HTML files. Okay, now I'm saving the file as index.html. Now if I upload this file, if I upload this file into the bucket directly, and if I open it, and if I upload, now if I go to this index.html, and if I want to access this file, on see here the actually this is the thing, I think. This is a DNS name. This is an entity tag. Just a minute, guys. This will not give me the access because this is private because we have blocked the public access. This will be throwing an error for me. So this is access denied. That's fine. If I want to access the file, it is not actually allowing me to do it. So these are all the permissions. Actually, this one should work it out because it should show me the file where it is exactly the file is showing on, not the entity tag. Okay, for the object URL, this will be the one where it is throwing me the error that it is not having. So if we want to access, this file, if we want to see what exactly the index.html file is there, so we have to go through this file and we have to change the permissions. We have to make the permissions changing everything. So we will be going to the buckets, where is the bucket here, and we will be clicking on this. And if you see the permissions, if you see, this is this public access has been gone. So if you want to change the public settings, if you don't want to have the public access, we want to have the file to be log into everything, so we are changing the changes. So this way we are actually making the file to be look all over the buckets. Means someone if has this bucket permissions, this is available, and this is for the block only the bucket. For the account settings, okay, already off. Okay, that's fine. Confirm. And if I go to the buckets again, and if I click on this, and if I go to the index.html, and if I see the permissions, if I see here, it is read and write. But here, before I want to make this one, I have to the object actions. It should be made public. Here is the public. Make public as. Where is it? Where is it? It still doesn't work because it will be throwing me the error. Here I actually have to make it public, then only it will work out. Just a minute, guys. This bucket access. Lock all public access off. It has been off. Publics can be public. Invite is not working it out. The ACL point should be given as data. Why it has not been given the data? See, now if I go to the objects and if I click on this one and the actions, if you see make public using ACL. So if I'm making the public, now if I go and just click on, and if I just refresh this, I'll be able to see the file. See the S3, I'm able to see the HTML file which have been just used, which I was not able to access before. I've just modified the settings. I've made it the file as public. Now I'm able to see the file directly from here. If I go for the other one also, logs.txt, if I go and if I copy this one also, and if I click on this one, see, I'm able to see the files directly from the internet access. From the internet, I'm able to access because I have given the public access. I have made it public. I have made the files public. If I remove this public, see now, if a simple go, if I make this edit and if I don't make it as a public, select, put the files, and if I'm editing the access, block all public access. Now it has been blocked. Now if I just refresh this page, just refresh it. See, this way the S3 bucket is a very safe and secureable, where you want to access the files, where you want to keep the object storage files, where you can keep the data at any time. This is a very good S3 bucket. This is the way how the S3 works out. So before going through S3, these are the things, the keys, objects identified, unified. So there are actually 6 types of S3 storage classes. One is S3 standard, and other one is S3 intelligent tiering. The third one is S3 standard infrequent access, S3 one zone infrequent access, and there is S3 glacier and S3 glacier deep archive. What exactly is this? The S3 standard is a default storage class, means whatever we are using in the S3 buckets right now, the S3 the buckets which we are actually using, these are all the standard ones. Why it is called standard is that it offers high durability and availability of the data. It has a very low latency and high true performance, and it is been called as 11 nines. Why? Means the data will always be protectable, means always will be provided like 99, 99, 99. This much perfection, the data will be available and highly providable to you at any time. That is the reason it is called as 11 nines. 11 nines, 99.99.999%. It has been the same thing. It has been mentioned here also. See, the durability is famous, as 11 nines, and the data is spread across because this is global. This is spread all over the availability zones. And the one more thing is that S3 one infrequent access. Why is this? This is the same thing and very cheap cost compared to standard. The It will be available, but the durability is 11 nines, but availability is 99.5%. Means here if it is having 99.99, here it will be 99.5% availability. Here both availability and durability are 99%. Here the availability is just 99.5%. That's the reason it is a less cheap compared to the S3 standard. S3 standard infrequent access is the same. It is same durability and availability are level 9. It is making 99.5%, 99.99%, and the availability is also 99.9%. But it will be used a less compared to, because if you want to use very less and infrequent, means you are not using very frequently, then you will go for S3 standard infrequent access. And S3 intelligent tiering, based on the past performance of your data, means how much you have accessed the S3 buckets, how much you have decided which storage you want to use the storage class. Based on that, it will mention you which kind of storage can be used in these two. This will be the thing which it will actually mentions you which kind of a storage class you can use, or maybe it should move your data. It will decide. This is S3 intelligent tiering, whether you should go S3 standard, S3 standard infrequent, S3 zone, based on your past performance of the data and access how you frequently access, how much you have accessed the data. Based on that, it will decide to which storage class it should go: S3 standard, standard infrequent, and S3 one zone. S3 glacier is that if you are having archive files, if you want to have a log, means if you are having many log files which you can't be using at anymore, you just want to keep it somewhere. So for that, we will be using S3 glacier. Just for the archiving data, we are using the glacier. Now, this is a new option which they have given recently. Here, the glacier means if you archive the files and you just want to go through it, you will be getting within a minute. But if you have a long file, so that deep archive is that which you are having less cost than S3 glacier, but the retrieval time means if you are actually retrieving the files which the archived files are there, it takes approximately 12 hours. This is the S3 storage class types. Any questions, guys? Do you able to understand whatever I have done up to now?
Yes, Ashok. S3 thing. These are the types of S3 buckets, Ashok.
Classes. S3 classes, storage classes.
Which are
By default we using S3 standard. By default we will be using S3 standard. If you don't want to use other things, we have to go through and we have to check it out. What will be the bucket means? See, if you create a bucket, choose a bucket. See the existing options. I think the downside it will be giving the options for you. Oh, I think it will be given based on your account. Means if you are means what we say organizational account, then they will provide you the other details. Any questions? Any questions, guys? I will go further a little. I just want you to understand the working also. Any questions, guys? Are you there?
Yes, Ashok. Yes, Ashok.
Any doubts?
Ashok, like currently we have uploaded an index, I mean HTML file to the bucket.
Yes.
Okay.
Directly we have uploaded. Directly we have done that. If you want to do it from the means what we say.
Can we get the access from the terminal, Ashok, to our bucket?
Yeah. Yes. That was the reason I'm actually going for the next.
Okay.
Any questions?
No, Ashok, please continue.
So this is about S3. Okay, tell me which of the following services global as a default region?
S3, Ashok.
VPC, Ashok.
Puneet, why VPC as a default region? Global.
When we go to for creating VPC page, it will be showing global, Ashok.
Puneet, you are seeing my screen, right?
Yes, Ashok.
For the S3, what was the region it is showing?
Global.
Okay, now let me go to the VPC. What you are saying. Now you have to tell me what exactly the region it will be showing to me. What it is showing me to me.
In North Virginia.
Why?
We have selected that location, Ashok. So.
Okay, then I have been in the North Virginia. Okay, from here I'm going to S3. Okay. Now tell me.
Okay. Sure. Global.
At least when we are asking the questions, I have been in the S3 and I'm asking a question that obviously will be the answer will be S3, right? Use some logical sense when we are answering the questions also. If you don't know the answer, just at least we are on the S3 and I'm asking a question. Obviously the answer will be on the S3, right? Because why would I keep something which is not related to this point? What's the point of my making this question here then? You got it?
Yes, Ashok.
Okay, one of the most important thing is the versioning. As I said, here I have not enabled the version. So let me actions. See here the bucket versioning is disabled. Okay, now I am enabling the bucket version. After enabling the bucket version, now what I am doing is that I'm gonna upload a file. The same index.html file with a different name. Okay. Now, if you see this, now if I'm uploading the file, now upload status is done. Now go to the objects. Now select this one in the actions. Where is the version, man? Let me block or make it save changes. Now I'm gonna make public. Now if I open this file, if I open this file data, so let me go through it and just open it here. It will be showing the same S3 bucket only. Now again, what I do is that in the same S3 bucket, I am gonna upload the same file again. Again, I'm gonna upload the same file, same first.html file. Now, if you go back, if you close this and go back to the files, come on. Actually, where is this one? Yes. Yeah, here. If I click on show versions, see, this is the same file. This is the same file. This is the same file. Here, if I open this one again, if I go to this one and open this URL again, see why it is not giving me the access.
We have blocked the permission, Ashok.
No, I didn't block. All permissions have been opened. See, I have uploaded the same file again, and I am seeing show versions. Now, if you see, this is the version 1, and this is a version 2 file. I have uploaded the same file again, but for me, this is blocking the access. Why? Because I have not given the access for this file where it is not public. If I give the public access, now if I click on the same one, just now it will be showing to me. See, the same file again I uploaded, it taken as a version because it thinks that the file has been modified somewhere. If you are uploading the same file again and the system thinks automatically that you have you have made versioning. So automatically it is thinking that okay, if it is the same file that you are uploading, you have made some modifications in that file, so that's the reason you are again uploading the file. So that's the reason it has given you the version IDs. Suppose you are keeping the files, you have modified some file in here and you want to go to the again back, here the versioning comes in the git. How we have actually done the versioning, the same thing here we have done it. The files which before the versioning was not there, means when the bucket has the versioning has not been enabled at that time, it will show as null. After the versioning has enabled, when we upload the files, it will show the version ID. Did you guys got what we have done exactly?
Yes, Ashok.
Yes,
You
Ashok.
understood, you understood, right?
Like, what is the purpose, Ashok, of versioning?
I just now told Puneet. First thing is that when you have been a file you have uploaded, and after that you have made modifications to that file, and you don't want to replace that file, the file which is already present in your bucket, you don't want to replace that file. So you have modified. If you have enabled versioning, if you upload the same file with the same name, it will consider that there is some modification in this file. So I'm gonna make a version of this file. So it will keep both the files like this. So at some point of time, you want to go back to the original file. You just go back and take the file. That's it. The versioning concept comes when you want to see here the version ID. Based on the version ID, it changes. But if you click on to the this one, if you click on here, show versions, every time I have to do it. If you click on this one, the see now this is the original file. Now it is considered this is the version file. This is the file, and the version file is different. See, this is the current version. The file which we upload now is a current version. This is the second version, means this is a version file. This is a old file which has been updated, modified, and this is the current version. If you want to keep you all the changes, whatever you have done, the coding part, as I said, when you started coding, the first code you have written, it will be there. And after that, on that code, you have made modifications, new features that has been added, and you want to go back to the old code, you just come here and go to this old code. That's it. Any doubts, guys?
Got it, Ashok.
This is the same example they have given. One of the most concept S3 versioning keeps the data intact even after losing disruption of data. And there is one more thing, S3 bucket policies and permissions. If you want to host a static website, that I'm going to discuss tomorrow, I don't want to drag it anymore. The S3 buckets, and we will just complete the S3 bucket application load balancer, auto scaling, and right sizing infrastructure, and we'll go to Docker. Just actually, it's taking a long time. I just don't want to move it more. And oh, okay, and we have to discuss about this CLI thing also. So, tell me, which of the following classes are storage classes in S3?
Standard, Ashok.
Standard, Ashok.
Only standard.
Standard IA also, Ashok.
Yes, that's right. Standard IA, infrequent access. This one. Okay. Any questions you have? And I think for the S3 bucket, which we have talked on the assignment, now you will be able to have a good idea how what needs to be done, how can you can go through it.
Yes, Ashok.
Yeah. So tomorrow, I think I'm gonna discuss about this AWS S3 CLI and everything, how exactly these commands will be using and we can do it. I will just work. I will tell you, and after that we'll go to the load balancers, auto scaling cubes, and right sizing infrastructure. In the meanwhile, I will upload this PPT to the. I don't think you need this image, right?
No, it's already there in another PPT. No, it's required, Ashok. You did it while explaining us, no, Ashok, this one.
Yeah, it's just a one. I just explained it,
Yes, Ashok, it is good only, Ashok. Let it be.
but this is in the last slide. You will be whether you will be able to understand this one.
Yes, Ashok, we can.
Okay, let me keep it there itself for you guys. Okay, I'm just going to upload the PPT and you can go through it if you want. And tomorrow we will just complete everything and we'll go to Docker. Any more questions, guys? In the meanwhile, if you are done with it, just delete the buckets. Okay, just don't keep it.
Okay.
Done.
Just delete. That's it. It will still ask me whether the empty bucket configuration means I have to remove all the things. It will be asking whatever has been there. Just you want to directly delete it. Yes, I want to. So it is going to delete the files first, and then after that it will be going to exit, and then we are going to delete the bucket. Whether I don't know whether the
What is
RDS
that
has been,
empty option, Ashok? We can empty that.
means whatever the files you have been kept in the S3 bucket, right? You have to empty first, or all the files, whatever you have been there. Okay, the DB instance is also deleted. That's fine. Yes. I want to close the instance also. Except I will say, as always, I'm telling you, practice, do a hands-on. Hands-on will make you very good. It's a only difference between you and the working experience guys. The only difference, because they will be doing the task every day, so they know what exactly does, what exactly each thing goes on. But if you do the hands-on practice, then it will also helpful for you only.
Yes, Ashok, we're trying. First, we are like making noting down all the things, or we are making the notes of that, and
You have
parallelly
to,
we are
because
running.
see, I will not be able to give the notes for everything. As I said,
Yes,
there are many things other than my class. I'm saying, other than my class, you will be having multiple things. You can go through it, and you can go and you can check it out. Network interface. What is the network interface? It has been associated. First detach it. First detach it. Detach. Okay, guys. If you don't have anything, we can stop it.